Good morning, all of you. In today's class, we'll discuss about the pressure in accelerating fluids. We'll continue that topic. We'll also go for the pressure in rotating fluids, how to calculate pressure at various points. Only at some small application level, we'll go for it because it's used in wide applications. We'll just focus on small basics, which are up to our level. Then we'll go for the forced on submerged laminars and its application. So almost, I think by today, your total discussion on fluids will be get over. Tomorrow we'll focus on some Pathfinder. I think I gave in assignment some questions, third page, that one. So you meanwhile you try and think on it. Tomorrow what happened, we'll focus on the problems. Some 8 problems are there in Pathfinder, which are very good. Just based on simple manometric equations, the simple idea of the force, torque, such things is what is stressing here. The problems will appear very lengthy something, that one, but it's about the mathematical equations here, but the concepts involved are very simple. So I have given time, yesterday I posted, today also you can try. Last, I think 5 questions I'll give key. Today, another 3 more I'll update. So the total 8 to 10 questions, tomorrow we'll discuss on them. Meanwhile, you can also read question, analyze, fight with it. Okay, now we'll begin with the problems. Okay, now read the question. So we have, there's a container. Initially at rest, the level of liquid, the free surface will be along parallel to the incline. Now, as the container accelerates down with an acceleration A naught, then what about the angle made by the free surface with the incline? The green color is what? The incline. What is angle of inclination given alpha? Let me mute, many are there. How the free surface? I think only one thing, the free surface may be like this, or maybe like this. No, these are the only 2 possibilities. What can happen? How to decide like how the alignment of free surface? Sir, what is there? You assume in any arbitrary direction to solve it. I think prior to that, we must have some basics here. Like now, let's assume if the free surface is like this. Huh? What problem will arise? So nothing wrong in thinking like this, So let's choose the points. Choose these 2 points. So pressure at 1. So 2. So here we'll mark a points here. There's a point 1. There's a point 2. Now what about pressure at 1? P1 will be there. Mg sine theta. Mg sine theta will act down the incline. Okay, we'll do one thing. Rough diagram. Okay, one of the student, he will start like this. Okay, sir, account to me the incline surface. Okay, no problem. Carry on. So we'll verify whether we are right or wrong. So there's a 1. There's a 2. So best thing is assume a cylinder here. Don't do for entire the liquid column. Assume a cylinder. So what are the forces here? P1s, P2s, as this is accelerating pseudo force, and mg sine theta. As it is accelerating down, as it is accelerating down, pressure at this point, as it is accelerating down, the pressure at the rear end should be more, no? Pressure at rear end should be more. So therefore what happens? Just you assume the pressure at this point should be more. So therefore, like if you look at the liquid column here, because of the height perpendicular to incline, this is less, this is more. So this is not possible. Okay, got this one. So this has to be, so how the inclined surface earlier, it was parallel to incline when it is at rest. Now when it accelerates, the inclined surface will take a shape like this here. Here also spilling all will be there. Okay, this is the angle theta. This is acceleration E naught. Now getting into this one. So that theta has to be determined. What is the one property of free surface? What is the property of free surface? Free surface will always align itself in such a way that tangential force along it must be zero, or it will align itself perpendicular to the net force. So instead I'm using tangential. The tangential force at any point on free surface must be zero. Then only equilibrium is possible. Let's get into this one. So let's take a small elemental volume of liquid you are going to choose. What are the forces on it? Mg sine alpha, Mg cos alpha, then Ma naught. Then all the forces along the free surface or tangential force on free surface must be equal to zero. Net force along free surface must be zero. This is one property of free surface. Otherwise, what happens? It cannot be in that particular position. So let's go for that one on. Who is drawing this diagram? The person on the container, the person on the container, because I took pseudo force here, no, Ma naught. So this is the theta. So Ma naught cos theta along the free surface, Ma naught cos theta minus Mg sine alpha cos theta. Then what is other Mg cos alpha we should resolve, no? Minus Mg cos alpha sine theta equal to 0. Overall this one, so what is A naught? A naught is equal to G sine alpha tan theta. So we have to solve for tan theta. Theta with respect to what we measure? Theta with respect to the incline. Not with respect to horizontal. With respect to horizontal, it will become theta plus alpha. I think you have to be a little bit alert with these conditions given. And now, if they ask you calculate the pressures, no, okay, now apply the manometric equation and solve it. May not be very important, I feel, just but in books here and there they're given. So just I took that one. Can be asked in advance, but applications, not that much. Huh? Applications are not wide. Hmm? So when I refer some fluid mechanics engineering books, no, we don't have anything applications related to like a fluid kept in that one. Huh? Okay, similar one more last situation. It was accelerating down the incline. Now let it accelerate up the incline.
Sir,
Ah.
sir, one doubt.
Yes.
Sir, in the previous question, why didn't the first case is not correct? Then you gave a reason.
Solve it and solve it. If you get theta negative, replace that. Theta with respect to incline, no?
Okay.
Simple idea. Okay, no. Go for this. So the assumption, so I'll do like this. So this was the initial level. So I'll assume the level of liquid to be In notebook, you'll be having pencil, no? With pencil, you shade that liquid. It'll be easy for you to make observation, no? Because I think some in exam, some students got confused with the two liquids are there. So these are some, now this, let this be theta. This is theta. I'll proceed in the similar way. What are the forces that will be acting here now? So if you want, I'll show it separately instead of messing it. So you can take like this. So this is the liquid free surface. The forces acting here are M A naught. What is M? M is small elemental volume, or dm. If you want, you write dm. Get into the problem now. This will be theta. So along the free surface, you have to equate here. On the elemental particle. So what is this? This is a elemental particle. You can choose any point on a free surface. The net force on it along the free surface must be there. This is one basic property of the liquid, that one. So we'll equate this. So this will be A naught dm A naught cos theta. I'll write it here. Dm A naught cos theta plus dmg sin alpha cos theta cos alpha sin theta equal to 0. So we have to calculate the theta, no? I'll directly write it. Okay, after getting that, if you want, you can check the pressures at 192. Write manometric equation and calculate the pressures. They may ask you in exam, find the pressure at 192. Just have an idea, because we don't have further application in this. Some in buoyancy it will come. When we go for buoyancy, what will happen to the buoyant force when in an accelerating fluids? Means if a body is floating here, so how to take the buoyant force here? Then similarly, if a body is floating here, how to take the buoyant force? If a container accelerating horizontally, then a body is floating, then how to take the buoyant force when it is rotating? So buoyant force in accelerating fluids, it's one separate topic is there. Okay, now let's come to the, read the question. If you check it, we don't have very, till now, the good questions in accelerating fluids in advance, all possibility of asking. So you have to work out few set of numericals. So what sort of questions are not there, like? Force acting on a body immersed in a liquid and pressure in accelerating fluid. So you check the advanced paper, we don't have any question till date, but all possibility of asking. Read the question. What should be the density of the other liquid? So initially it's at rest. Uniform area of cross section. So the pressure at this point should be equal to pressure at this point. So pressure at, I think he has messed up some 2 rho. Okay, there's a liquid 1, liquid 2 having density 2 rho. This having a density. We don't know what is its density, but it is rise to height h. I think this. Okay, meanwhile you read it. I'll remove that term. Okay, this will be the density of other liquid. We don't know. We don't know how much it is. So what is this shit? It's in equilibrium, no? So therefore the pressure at this point should be equal to pressure at point 1. We'll give name like this. The pressure at 1 should be equal to pressure at 2. So get into the mathematics. What is the pressure at 1? So we don't know density of liquid. I'll call it as rho 1. As such, it's a question mark. So this should be equal to how much, no? P naught plus rho 1 G 2H. What is the pressure at 2? P naught plus 2 rho GH. So P naught get cancels. So rho 1 equal to rho. The density of other liquid is rho. That's why as it is a lighter, no, so it has rise to more height. Now, if you accelerate the tube towards right till heights of liquid column will be the same. Find the acceleration of the tube. It's going to accelerate it. If you don't accelerate, the lighter one will rise to more height, no? The lighter one will rise to more height. Then this is heavier. So in what direction I should accelerate so that the level should be same is telling. So shall I accelerate towards left? If you accelerate towards left, how the free surface will be. So get into the basics of this. If I accelerate towards left, the free surface will take like this here. Further, the level will increase, no? If you accelerate towards right, if I accelerate towards right, so possibility like this having more level, so it may come to the same level. I think we have to first analyze what direction I should put it here. If you accelerate the tube towards left, then the level here will decrease. The level here will further increase. No question of that. If I accelerate towards right, the level here should decrease and here should increase. So in that manner, what happens? The level may be equal, can happen. So therefore, I should put acceleration for the tube towards right here. I think we have to analyze. There's no other way. Now get into this one. He himself is telling the level will be same. And the level will be same means I don't know what is that level that we have to find out. And the other one, both are of same. What should happen to overall volume of liquid? As there is no spill out. So definitely what do you expect the volume of liquid? Volume of liquid has to be same, no? The overall volume of liquid must be equal. Now this much is what we can. What is the volume of liquid? Total volume of liquid. 2H plus H. Total length of the liquid column will be 3H and this is 2H. And the height should be same. So how to get that height? This height should be same. and there's a liquid of density 2 rho. There's a liquid of density rho. Now I want students to really, there's an interface. How to bring that y? Y is also unknown. No, no let's do one thing. As it accelerates, so this level will fall, no? This level will fall. This level will increase. This level will increase. So how to get that y value of y? So what can be next possible value? So this can be 1.8. If this is 1.8, so this is 2h, no? So this like a 1.8h. This will become how much? 1.2h. So when the levels will be equal, when the levels are equal, what should be the height? I think, shall I go for this as 3h by 2? So how do you can say like, so this height is the level of liquid in the right column is 2h, in the left column is h. Then when the level will be same, 3h by 2. So if you want, you can directly write 3h by 2. I just wanted you to analyze. Okay, now this about is asking to get that acceleration. How to? So there's a 0.1. There's a 0.2. Now, if you want, you can let's write this one. Manometric equation, will write it, and it is accelerating. So shall we write manometric equation? No, say no concept. At least I can say that there is no any big thinking is needed. There's no any big thinking in it. Straight away write manometric equation. Between what, sir? Between what? Between 1 and 3. Between 2 and 3. So let me begin like this. P1. Can you remember that P1? If you move against the liquid, will you write plus rho Al or minus rho Al? Okay, I'll show between 3 and 2 first. Between 3 and 2. From 3 to 2. P3. If you move against the liquid column, if you move against the acceleration of liquid column, the gauge pressure should be positive. So 2 rho A. So what is this length? H by 2. So what is this length? 3h by 2, as y equal to 3h by 2 is there. Now get into P3 plus 2 rho A h by 2 minus P2 equal to 0. Similarly, write equation P1 plus rho A 3h by 2 minus P3 equal to 0. Along y-axis, how you write? P2 should be equal to P0 plus 2 rho gy. P1 equal to P0 plus rho gy. So we know value of y. Substituting all that, we have to solve for acceleration E. Now what we should do, so there's equation 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or directly, sir, I'll write between 2 and 1. Yes, you can write it. I just wanted you to students to learn. I just split it up. What is this? There's an interface. Huh? I just wanted students to, like this interface is very important. In some numericals, I'm going to take help of this one. You can also write directly from this point to this point. You can also directly write from this point to this point. So how it is possible? Okay, I think if you substitute this value P0, substitute 3 in 1, what actually you'll get it? That equation. No? So let me show that writing manometric equation. P3 I think finally, rather than like this, I want students to think here, P3 plus 2 rho A H by 2 minus 2 rho Gy minus P naught equal to 0. So where is the P2? P2 is the intermediate point. If you add up 1 and 2, if you substitute 3 in 1, I think you'll get this equation only. Similarly, let me write manometric equation. See, it's all about manometric equation. It's all about writing manometric equation. So this is, those who are finding very difficult, I just chosen this method. So I'll start from free surface, P naught plus rho Gy minus rho A 3H by 2 minus P3 0. Add, substitute like a 4 in 2, we'll get it. Now eliminate P naught and P3 from here. Solve for this, you'll get acceleration. Anybody value acceleration? I think 3G by 5. I'll feel very happy if you can say that, yes, sir, we understood this. This is something which I wanted you to write, not like something breaking up from 1 to 3 and that one. So here what I did, I just broke this particular liquid column from 3 to 2. Then again separately from 2 to this free surface. Similarly, from free surface to 1, again from 1 to 3. But in exams, you're supposed to write, or sir, shall I write directly from year to year? Yes, no problem. What is there? You can write directly from year to year. You can save time. No, one equation finish over. P naught you are starting. And again, P naught get eliminated. No 3, no 1, no 2. Still more, still more. See, you should always search for P naught or the P naught plus rho Gy plus rho A 3H by 2 plus A 2 rho H by 2 minus 2 rho Gy minus P naught equals 0. I think I'll give name. This is a 4. Let this be 5. Okay, fine. This is, I think, very easy, no? Straight away, no need to think so much. I said the question was intended to make students to learn manometric equation. I'll go to the next one. I'll scroll down. See here, we have what we have to do. We have to fight with a basic concept. This is a tube. Inward action, it should be accelerating. He has put some conditions. Please do read that. There's a V-shaped tube. The area of cross-section of that will be negligible compared to length is telling. So, assuming that the diameter of the tube is much smaller than the levels of liquid and neglecting effect of surface tension, acceleration of the burst will be. Now, where the level on the left limb is more than the right limb. These are also called as a limb. I'll go for one small diagram. Okay, this is the another angle not visible, 45 degrees. And this should be 45. If you want, you can make some other angle also. That doesn't matter. If you want, I'll make it more generalized discussion. Theta 1, theta 2. The level of liquid here is. This idea, again, you do have in SHM. No? It will get repeated. This much what we have. Okay, let me construct some small things. This is theta. This is say some alpha something. We are familiar with theta, no? So let me write alpha 2. Let this be theta. So it should accelerate like this. And these levels are given H1, this H2. If this is H2, so what can be this? This will be this length. Tan alpha 2. So call this is X2. This is X1. So you want that acceleration, that's all. So tan theta shall we write equal to A by G? Somehow we should get theta. What is theta? This should also equal to H2 minus H1 by X1 plus X2. We don't know X1 and X2. Tan theta is what I wrote. We don't know X1, X2. So tan alpha 1 equal to H1 by X1. Tan alpha 2 equal to H2 by X2. Substitute that value. So this will be A is equal to H2 minus H1 G. Yeah, okay. This one, yeah. 2 meter per second square. Huh? Yeah, fine. What is X1? H1 cot alpha 1, H2 cot alpha 2. Substitute that, you'll get the acceleration. Objective question, very important. But sir, like, now what you have to think? Sir, there's no liquid here. As if the fluid will behave as if here everywhere liquid is present. The free surface will align itself. So in fact, I gave rough diagram. So how the free surface here will be in this direction here. I should not show horizontal. It should be like this. That is actually the correct diagram. And there should not be any liquid in this region. So there should be actually the am I right? So it should have been like this, the diagram. Since is telling, assume the diameter of the tube is much smaller. So we can do some approximation here. Okay, 2 meter. Okay, fine. It's a given. I'll go for next one. Okay, now a few more are there. Let me. If diameter is not too small, you are supposed to analyze. Huh? You should take help of geometry and you should conclude. Now, if there's a tube, there's a length L, there's height H. Both the ends, here air is there, here also air is there. So I'm going to accelerate on a horizontal surface. What should be the acceleration so that the liquid will not float from either of surface? At all one, there's a hole. So there's also a hole. The liquid should not spill out. What should be the acceleration? Objective question definitely means they want to, instead of lengthy calculations, no, they just want to test students. Okay, there's a point one. So we'll begin. There's a point one. There's a point two. Writing manometric equation. So pressure at 1, P1 plus rho LA. If you move against the container, rho LA minus rho GH minus P2 equals 0. Look at both the holes exposed to air. So what should be the pressure? P1, P2 equal to P0. So what is A equal to? A should be equal to GH by L. If the acceleration is equal to this much, the liquid will not spill out at either of the hole. So what do we think? Sir, here, okay, liquid will not float. Okay, fine. But here liquid must flow. If it is at rest, the liquid will float. They will come out like this. If I accelerate it, the liquid will not float. So now it is possible. The mathematics is saying no, the concept is saying. It's not like something sealed. Both ends, it's open here. All or some all means again small thing. So open end, I'll write it. I think this will reflect. So now you can expect really some good set of questions. Till now, what all we discussed is all about only the liquid filled up in a tube or tank or thing. So you can go for any RBT shape. So any RBT shape means if there's a liquid is there. I'm trying to generalize it. I'll partially fill up. There's a spherical shell. So I'll partially fill up. So this is the vacuum. And this is a liquid. Initially, if it is a test, this would be the situation. So if it accelerates, what conditions will arise? So you now what happens? Slowly migrate to the different ideas. Slowly you have to migrate to different ideas. Different ideas means liquid filled up in a different shaped containers, partially, fully. What conditions can arise? So I think now shall we make it? Something it can happen. It can happen like this. It's a half fill, no? So this can be one position. I think through diagram only it will be on safer side. Where pressure, okay, let me go for pressure at what do you expect pressure? Where it will be more, at 1 or 2? So let it have acceleration A naught. What about pressure at on the free surface? Pressure of free surface here if I say air, then you can go for P naught. Air, the pressure will be P naught, you can assume. So here you can bring atmospheric pressure. Since if I say vacuum, so no question of any atmospheric pressure inside that. So what is the pressure on the free surface will be 0. Because if air is there, then only the P naught will come into picture. I think, see, shape of container doesn't matter, sir. So here pressure at 2. So what is this length? This is a radius R, no? The pressure at 2 is what? The radius R. So pressure at 1 and 2, shall I say equal? Yes, it should be. Provided if A naught equal to G. Pressure at 2, I'll write equation. Pressure at 2 will be rho A naught R. Manometric equation, P naught. Okay, sir, how you are writing, why you are making guess? Okay, no, let it be like this. P naught minus P naught plus rho, I think I'll write C here. So O, some of you are getting confusion. Let me make C. PC plus rho A naught R minus P2 equals 0. PC is equal to 0 because the vacuum. So therefore, P2 equal to rho R A naught. PC plus rho GR minus P1 equals 0. So when pressure at 1 and 2 will be equal, when A naught equal to G, it will come. Okay, sir, what about here, sir? I'm interested in this particular point. Okay, no, see, just getting to the manometric equation, I think I'm making things very clear for you. No. So what about pressure at 3? So you write in terms of 4. So PC plus, I'll get into the PC plus rho G R cos theta minus P4, the PC is 0. Then if you know P4 plus rho A naught R sine theta minus P3 equal to 0. I think a student has to learn writing manometric equation. Nothing to do with container. So what is the problem with the container? Nothing to do with container. No? So students, I don't know. So you start thinking different way, innovatively, creatively. Nothing, just manometric equation. So today, what happened? Your entire the week syllabus you can split up only into 2 parts. What is that? Manometric equation. The liquid will exert force normally on all surfaces. It comes in contact. I think any student just gets an idea. These 2 is enough. No need to sit from Monday to Saturday. Because you take any problem today, this week, you pick up any problem. This is the thing what is involved, no? Generalization, simplified way of thinking. We are just doing different problems so that we are learning how to use that idea in different cases, that's all. But what your physics sir has taught you in this week, whole 1 week, what he has taught only these 2. How to write manometric equation, then like a calculation of force acting on surfaces on which liquid comes in contact, and that force will be normal, that we call like a thrust force. See, like this generalization, when do you get it? When you solve different problems. And again, what happened on Friday evening, what you should do, you should compare the numericals. Oh, I learned this problem like this, I learned this problem like this. Then okay, how they are related. A student can generalize like this, then he is in a better position. Please do, because in physics, this is what needed. If you look at one side physics, you feel you are learning many things. But if you look at from other side of coin, you are learning very less. Let's go for pressure in rotating fluid columns. Definitely this topic, I can say that what all today we are, the COVID-19, we are surviving because of this topic. Sir, how come? This is called like a centrifuge. You go to any biological, chemical, pharmaceutical, or any industry where related to something, the intake syrups, tablets, food, we need this centrifuge. This called like a centrifuge. So I'm just calling it pressure in rotating fluid columns. Go back to the circular motion. We had certain idea of centrifugal force that we are going to apply for the fluids here. There we discuss for either a particle or a body. Now for a, what will be the centrifugal force impact on a fluid particle? Because you take any particle, or better say molecule, the molecule will have a mass, or some elemental volume of a fluid, it will have mass. So it will experience that radial outward force. Due to that radial outward force, so definitely what happen, it will change its orientation. This we are discussing. So this centrifuge is something very important. So if you go for blood test, urine test, or most of the tests, no, that is, of course, X-ray, MRI scanning, they're different. But anything related to blood test, urine test, or something, if you want to check the amount of vitamins, all the supplements in a body, this is only alternative. Till date, even the COVID-19, what we do is with help of this centrifuge only. So I should really appreciate that the person who has designed this, and how much is useful in the lab, that one. So you can write centrifuge in the Google, no, centrifuge in biotechnological labs. I think you will get a huge number of different types of instrument. I'm discussing the basic element. So let me call this as its original name. We'll call by its original name, centrifuge. Some different names they're given, but there's a general initial when it was designed, no? So that I'm analyzing it. No, initially the liquid column is at rest. So then there's the axis. There's a cylinder. Huh? So what it is? Cylinder. You can try this where in the you can try on your own. So take some any cylindrical shampoo bottle or any other thing, fill up water, and with your hands try to spin it. Then you can see this liquid column. So since water is transparent, so add some color to it. Add some color, blue or red color, anything is available, watercolor. Then start spinning it. You can see the surface will take a different shape. Okay, now as it starts rotating, okay, let's get into the concept. So as it starts rotating, so you take this particular small element. What are the forces on that element should be? So that small element, let it be here. So the one force is what? The weight dmg. And it is at a distance r. A force dm omega square centrifugal force. So the resultant force will be like this. So like this, if I assume the elements at different positions, so the value of R will change. No? Let me take identical elements. The value of R will be different for different positions. So this dmg, the weight will be, weight of that elemental volume will be constant. But what will happen to the centrifugal force experienced by different elemental particles at different radial distance will be different. And the resultant force, I think initially here, the resultant force will be downward. So as I start moving away, the resultant force will start rotating, away from the axis. So here it will be like this. If you choose a particle here, I think this will have maximum centrifugal force and dmg. And the weight will be vertical than maximum centrifugal. The resultant force will be somewhere more near towards centrifugal force here. So the different particles here, the net force acting on them is different. And also the direction. And what is the one property of free surface? It will always align itself such that the tangential force must be zero, or the net force should be perpendicular to free surface. So there's a one property of free surface here. So the free surface now will take a shape. That's the initial level. Let me show that layer of liquid. Yeah. This is I'm telling that there's a boon for the human mankind. This particular topic, I can go to that extent of pricing this equipment. Even till date, there's the only best cheaply available equipment for testing of for most of the elements in the blood or urine. Okay, this is what we have, dm omega square r. So the resultant force, how it will be directed? It will be directed df like this. So this particular, if you draw a tangent only at certain point where you assumed a liquid column, so this tangent will make an angle theta. So this should be the theta. Then what is the basic condition? The net, and there's a free surface. The net force along the free surface must be zero. That one. So let's equate that. dmg sine theta. So this should be the theta minus dm omega square r cos theta equals 0. What is the reason? Net tangential force on any point on free surface must be 0. So therefore this, what is the equation? We'll get it here. Tan theta omega square r by g. So what is tan theta? So let me define this as y-axis. And this is r. And let this be the origin. Or you can show it, that axis here, and this that origin. Okay, tan theta, shall we write dy by dr? Oh, so sorry. It should be. Just that origin I didn't locate properly. Or origin, will take it here. And now look at tan theta, dy by dr. So from the diagram, equating these two, so dy by dr equal to omega square r square by 2g. Look at the free surface, it will take a parabolic shape. No? So what the shape of this free surface will be parabola. Plane diagram will call it a parabolic. So it will be like a paraboloid, if the 3D diagram. So once you make omega non-zero, so you make it, you stop rotating it. Then what when the free surface will become horizontal, or it become like a circular disc. Here plane diagram horizontal. Second diagram, the plane here what when the free surface will be parabola, because we are seeing a plane diagram. If you view from the top, here how the free surface circular disc. As you start rotating, it'll become a paraboloid. Okay, nothing wrong, since what we are seeing is plane diagram. So therefore I'll select a horizontal and parabolic shape it will be. So this will be the free surface above the axis. What happened? We can get this one. If you take any point on a curve, so it is going to describe it will form a paraboloid here. So like this, the shape of the free surface will be parabolic in nature. Y will be proportional to R. Okay, let's see that now how to calculate the pressure at various points. The pressure at, as let it be rotating this liquid column. Okay, just meanwhile you concentrate, I'll just fill it up. No. Why it is not coming? I think some of your from your batch only they just select, sir, why don't you make it small and fill it up so that you need not to scribble more. I didn't have idea. This one. Let's get into. So pressure at various points in the liquid column. Pressure at various points inside the liquid column. What are the various points on the free surface, at several points on free surface? How the pressure varies at different. So first I'll start with pressure at point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's get into the pressure at 1, 2, 3 should be should be equal to P naught. The topmost layer of free surface exposed to atmosphere should have a pressure P naught, irrespective of its shape. Okay, fine. Simple conclusion. Okay, now come for this one. Pressure at 1, 2, 3 is this one. Pressure at 4, it is at a distance. Say like a R, you write it. Let this be depth Y. So let's come for the easier things first. We'll find out. So along the axis, this is the axis. Along the axis of P1 plus rho gy minus P5 equals 0, or P0 plus. So how the pressure that varies along the axis? Along the axis, it varies with the depth only. Now what about the pressure at 4? Pressure at 4, I should use this formula. Okay, I'll do one thing. P2 plus rho gy minus P4 equals 0. Manometric equation. Okay, this one. Y not alright. Let me take, this is Y. Two different distances are there, no? Shall we write this? P2 plus rho gy minus P4 equal to 0. What is the pressure at 2? P naught. And at what distance the point 4 is that radial distance r from the axis. So can I replace Y here using this formula? This is the expression for rho will, G will get cancelled. Rho omega square R square by 2. Look at our pressure. It varies radially. So as you move away from the axis, the pressure will increase. That's what the R is. Okay, now I got pressure at 4. Can we calculate the pressure at 6? They're at same level. So P4 plus rho G Y naught minus P6 0. P4 value, we know it. Okay, the rho plus rho G Y naught equal to P6. I think you have a very good set of discussion here. How the pressure varies on the axis only with the depth. What about here? Yeah, of course, if you want, you can say with the depth or also with the radial distance according to this equation. What about here? It varies with the depth as well as also the radial distance. Are you getting? No, we have Y naught and also R. Able to make it out. So I think you have to break up this particular liquid column into parts. Like this region is one. Okay, this region. Of course, you can say that it varies with only depth, but you see what is Y? Y is equal to again omega square R square by 2G. So it's a practice that to show that As you move here, the pressure increases radially here. What about here? This point is at a depth and also it's at some radial distance. So the pressure varies here at both with the depth and radial. So shall we conclude? On the axis varies with the depth. In this region, what happened? It varies with radial distance, whereas here varies with the depth as well as the radial distance. Now, what is use of this? I told no something like this one. I'll fill up like a something like a my blood sample to be tested for some virus or bacteria. Then my blood sample contains many other things, no lipids, fats, everything. Then again, white blood cells, red blood cells, all the things, no. Then I'm going to add a solution for it, and that solution, what will happen? The chemical will react with lipids in one way, with vitamins in one way, then with virus present in one way, with bacteria present in one way. I will make it to rotate. And look at this, one more thing, like a pseudo force dm omega square r. So based on this dm, what happens? The different particles will experience because the different elements or the different elements there will have different mass, like a lipids, vitamins, proteins. That molecular mass will be different of that one. So because of that, what happens? The different particles, they experience different radial force and the weight, and they will settle at different positions in the liquid column. Those which are heavier, they will settle here. Those which are lighter, they will float here. And that what happens? The flotation depends on like how much of their density. At different point, they'll float it here. And some will get submerged and some will be here. Then what happens? I'm going to collect from the different regions for 100 ml of the liquid. I'll collect from here. Then I'll start counting how many particles are there for 100 ml. With that, what happened? We brought a methodology. Okay, if this particular count is more than this, test is positive. If the count is less than this, the test is negative. Like that, it was designed. A lot of science is behind it. So when you get a time now, do visit. Don't visit now during COVID time. After vaccination comes now, do visit biotechnological labs. Just ordinary labs you visit, no, you do have centrifuge equipment, so much of physics involved here, especially all related to fluid statics, fluid dynamics. Nothing new. What all you want to view things, no, you can go for it. Okay, fine. So the heavier particles will settle here. The lighter particle will float. And those particles whose density equal to that of the liquid, they'll get submerged and they'll be here. And now one more thing. How much the liquid? I think there are some books they have started asking this one only. How much it has raised at the edge, that much it will fall here. I think definitely we have to go to the mathematics of the parabola to show that. So I'll just put it. The rise of liquid at the edges should be equal to the fall of liquid at the axis. Provided what happened, the axis should be symmetric. And definitely I think it's a symmetric. I wrote R and R, you can see that one. So how much it will rise at the edge, that much what happened, it will fall here. So the rise of liquid at the edge should be equal to fall of the liquid at the axis here. I think this from mass we have to show it, no other way. I'm just concluding this one directly as an information. So rise of liquid at the edge should be equal to fall of liquid at the axis. And now, what are the, can it here also, can it spill out? Just we'll have some small discussion, then I'll come to the numericals. Here also, will it spill out in these situations? Let me take a situation like this. No. I to give a condition. No? Yeah. So there's a height of the cylinder. Let it be h, and let it be filled to a height 2h by 3. Then I'll rotate about a symmetric axis. There's everywhere. This is a liquid. Huh? I don't have time, so I'm just putting that one. Now it starts rotating. It starts rotating. As I keep on, for any angular velocity, will it be parabolic, or only for specific angular velocity will be parabolic? I'm asking some very generalized things. Only for specific angular velocity or for any angular velocity? For any angular velocity, the shape will be parabola. No. Will it touch the brim? This is called like a brim. This is called like a brim. And this is called like a base. Now, will it simultaneously touch both the brim and base? First, the rise of liquid at the edge should be equal to fall of liquid at the edge. For the liquid to rise to the till edge, so how much it should fall? So h by 3 it should rise, no? Here h by 3 should rise to touch the brim. To touch the base, how much it should fall? 2h by 3. So will it touch the brim and base simultaneously? The answer is no. So if I show the free surface, I'll do one thing. No other alternative. Will just the theoretical ideas I'm trying to conclude in the form of numerical only. The previous one, what I discussed, I just making some numerical with that. No, this is the question what I'm asking myself. When the liquid was touching the brim, no. So when the liquid was touching the brim, what about the liquid at the base? At what height it will be? So what can we can put it? H by 3. H by 3. And this is H by 3. No? So will it touch both the brim and base simultaneously? The answer is no. When the liquid touches the base, what will be the liquid? What will be the liquid? Will it any spillover will occur? Yes, there'll be some spillover. I'll show everything in one diagram. Oh, come for this. So in the next situation, when the liquid touches the base, not symmetric. Now, what should be the state of the liquid? Any spillover will occur? Or you'll be tested with a very best simple idea based questions of these things rather than focusing on mass. No, so definitely the teacher will be interested to analyze your basics, geometry basics. Oh, hash to show. Yeah. No. Any spillover, so this will be some new angular velocity, no? Omega 2, this omega 1 you call it. Or for same angular velocity, new angular velocity it should be. Now the liquid, what will happen? Any spillover. My question is, will there be any spillover, or you look at the amount of liquid present, is it same in third and second, first, second? First, second will be same. Huh? What is the volume of liquid? V naught. Now also the same volume. V naught, V1. V1 equal to V naught. About to spill. What about here? The volume of liquid definitely is V2. V2 will be less than V1 or less than V naught. Some liquid will spill out here. Getting some idea? Like this, you continuously increase angular velocity, the liquid starts spilling out. So this is what this is a spilled out liquid. So this is the free surface. Some liquid got spilled out. So now, sir, I'll increase. Can it happen like this? Can it happen? Okay, if it is filled up to height h by 2, then it will touch the brim and base both simultaneously. That's what I mean to say here now. No, sir, can it happen where the liquid will be like this? Yes, it can happen. Plus, get ready for questions of this kind also. Now, definitely this omega will be greater than and continuously the more liquid will be spilled out. Getting the idea? So this, I definitely, I think rather than testing you mathematically, they want to test that brim and base. It will, how it will touch. Huh? Okay, let's take one numerical. Tomorrow I'll discuss few more numericals. Okay, first we'll take this one. No, look at the, is testing just now what you learned is what I'm trying to test you. The figure shows three-arm tube in which a liquid is filled up to levels height L. It is now rotated in angular frequency omega about an axis passing through arm B. The angular frequency omega at which level of liquid in arm B becomes 0. I'll try to draw a diagram. No. It is rotated about this axis. Let's get into this one. So where the liquid earlier was to the level L. This was initial level L. Now what should the liquid column? There should not be any liquid. Volume of liquid should remain constant. That's all. Don't mess up any other thing. So what was the earlier volume? Like a length L it was there. So this, and look at this distance of the limb A and C from the axis. They are at same distance. So how much here it will fall, that much it will rise here. So what happened? The volume of this part of the liquid. So L by 2 will go here, the L by 2 will go here. Will adjust here, L by 2, L by 2. The liquid column He's asking what is that angular velocity? We'll finish off soon because I have to start the force on submerged bodies. So this some I'm giving actually it should be like this. Actually, the free surface will take shape like this. Some rough diagram. The area of cross section of that you can. Okay, fine. You can see that. So some liquid you are showing it. Area of cross section will be very small, no? So we can take this one. For sake of diagram convenient, I shown it to be horizontal, but it should be rough curved. In exam, they may test you. If they ask very specifically, the free surface in this limb A and C will not be this one. So I think well, let's go for correction because again they may ask such questions also. Who knows? Okay, I think I made things a little bit systematic. No, this is L, no? It is rotating with an angular velocity omega. So what is y is equal to? Directly get into the basic formulas. Y equal to omega square r square by 2g. This I'm going to, what is y? Y is 3l by 2. Omega square 2g. What is r? R is l. Solving this, omega equal to 3g by l. Sir, I'll increase angular velocity further. I'll make it more than omega, more than 3g by l. So what should happen to the liquid? It will start rising further. Then what will happen to here? Here the liquid from here starts flowing out. For further increase in angular velocity, the free surface will take shape like this. One more, because anyway we are at the concept, no? Now what is this? This omega should be greater than root 3g. The same accelerated, how we discussed for horizontal acceleration, the similar thing is what you have to put it. So I think that dotted line is something very important. The shape of the curve. So this omega, definitely this omega is greater than root 3 gel for this particular omega. So the free surface will take here. So if you look at this level will be greater than 3L by 2. It should happen. So what will happen here? Here air will be present. Now what will be the pressure at, I think the next troublesome things will start for you like this. The red color is what? The free surface. What is the pressure at this point? P naught. What is the pressure at this point will be P naught because it's a free surface. And rather than some mathematics, I'll be interested in questions of this kind for you. So pressure, I'll indicate 0.1. Pressure at 3. All pressures here will be as it is exposed to atmosphere. So I think we need not to bother shape, no? What will be that condition? The free surface. I'll go for the next topic. We have half an hour. We'll discuss some problems tomorrow, that one. This problem is there. Okay, if you want to try, I'll not delete it. We'll take the now pressure force on a laminar bodies. Already I discussed, I wanted to make it very simple, that one, because we did some mathematics, all that one. Force on submerged laminar bodies. Already I think we have discussed, no? The force acting on a vertical wall. The force acting on the vertical wall is what the condition. So let me take the free surface. There is a rectangular plate. Length and is having a breadth. Surrounding everything is liquid. I'll show it later on. It is immersed in liquid. It is immersed in liquid. And this is air. No, we know what is it. I want the force acting on this lamina. Rectangular lamina it is. Let the rho be the density of liquid. Total force. And where do it will act? I also want the point of application of that particular force. Total force. So here, what is the thing? So already I think we know pressure triangle. So let's go back to the pressure triangle. From the pressure triangle, force per unit width is equal to half into rho g h into h. Will I agree this? Now this will become the total force should be equal to rho g h square. The pressure triangle. The same formula, I'm going to bring it in another way. So where the centroid or the center of mass of this submerged part, that is what C. Center of mass of the submerged part. Okay, they're fully submerged. So therefore the centroid of the lamina should be the center of the submerged part here. Or center of mass of the rectangular plate should be the center of the submerged part here. And at what distance? At a distance HC. So what he's telling is, so there's instead of every time going for integration, because this will be more lengthier method. There's a more lengthier method. So what is telling the total force, what we calculated, this should be equal to rho g HC. What is HC? The center of submerged part into area. Area of submerged part here. So what is SC? SC is depth of center of submerged part. And what is area? Area of submerged part of the body. Because sometimes the area will not be submerged completely, no? Okay, let's do one thing. Rho G. What is SC? Should be H by 2. What is area? Area is what? L into B. In place of H, I should write L, no? Okay, this is L by 2. Look at both are same. I changed all symbols because we have started with H, no? So here only I'll make it L. That will be much easier. Again, why to bring L, all that one. And this will not be needed then. Both are same, no? And how do this force will act? This force will act perpendicular. That's what is saying. This force will act perpendicular to the lamina. So I think this will be much easier, no, for us to tell that what is that total force is acting. No need to integration. So what is the formula is telling? Say, how do I design? I just took help of the rectangular plate. I'm generalizing. Now it's available for any other shape. It's available for any other shape. So what is telling, like rho G, what is SC? Depth of center of submerged part. And what is area? Area of submerged part of the body. Let's take another example. Let's take a circular disc. I'm not sure whether these things are there in syllabus or not, but we are comparing things. In our books, they didn't stress, but I think any numerical order pen, we can take help of this one. No? In any numerical, so instead of doing all that integration, now suppose say like, I want the force acting on this submerged part of the disc here. So half of the volume of the disc is immersed. It's a disc, and this is a liquid. Definitely, what is the force acting on it means lot of integration we have to do. It's not that easy. We can work out, but time consuming. So what is telling is simple, where the center of mass of semicircular disc will be at this point. So calculate that SC. Then what is the force? F is equal to rho G SC into area of submerged part, pi r square by 2. Half of the disc is immersed. Half of the disc is immersed here. Now what is SC? Can we locate center of mass 4r by 3 pi? To rho G r cube by 3. This is a total force acting on the immersed part of the semicircular plate. I bet you solve it by integration to get the same answer. I'm just giving some trick here. So how do you can make it? So you do one thing. The first one we already did mathematically by this method. We already did by using maths. We already proved it. I made a guess of a formula. Yes, it is obeying. Now, sir, how come for semicircular plate? Same thing, you do it. So how to calculate force? I think you should assume a strip here. Rectangular strip you assume it. Then find out its area. Then calculate the pressure at that point. Then you integrate using the circles formula. If you solve it, you get this much. So I'm just replacing this one. I think this will be best formula for a student. Now, the same rectangular plate, I'm going to immerse why you measured H, because there's a free surface. No, from free surface you should measure. I think what is the HC? HC should be measured from the free surface to the centroid of the submerged part. I think that's what I did. No, free surface I shown. Why I'm writing the formula? Because it is obeying my mathematical method. Please, all of you, I think you want to become engineer. You can't just be dumb engineer. Means, sir, I'm good in maths, I'll solve it. So you should always come with any techniques. Mathematics should be minimized here. So you should always search for a suitable methods. For that, you should think, you should compare all that one. Okay, next again. So there's a rectangular plate. I think only you are seeing the side view. There's a free surface. This everywhere liquid is there. Okay, what about the force, total force acting on this rectangular plate? So I'll give one small diagram because it's the plate is submerged like this. BL. Let this be H. I want the total force acting on it. I think this will be, we can do it. What we should do, we should assume a strip. Then now the force will act normally. Then what happened, we should integrate. So lot of mathematics is involved. So that will be simplified very easily. As it is fully submerged, so the center of mass of the plate should be the center of submerged part. I'll bring this. So this should be this what? HC. This is theta. This length is L, no? So this will be L sine theta. What can be this length? L by 2 sine theta. So let's go for the formula. What is the total force acting on the plate? Rho G into HC into area of the plate is L into B. What is SC? SC should be H plus L by 2 sine theta. I think you can justify your answer. Put theta 90. Put theta 90. We'll get back the original equation. We'll get back the original equation. Okay, agree this. So there's a force on, and how do this force? There's a total force, total force on the plate. Total force acting on the plate. By whom? By the liquid. On either side, it's like that. We are showing on one side. Total force acting on the plate on any one side. I think I should make it this one also very clear. Net force will be 0 because it's a thin plate. The total force, and out it like normal to the surface of plate. Total force acting on the plate on any one side and directed normal to the surface of plate. Okay, there's a basic idea. This is very important. And where do the point of application? I think it's not there for a syllabus. Maybe in the revision when we don't have, we have to pass time, they will discuss now. The point of application will be different again, will not be at centroid. The total force will not be at this particular point. For example, this, this total force, where you have to show this will not be at this, will be somewhere at a 2L by 3. Will be at a distance 2L by 3. Here, if you want, you can calculate, but not needed. I feel like there's a liquid, no? So this is L. This total force F will act somewhere here. Point of application, because, but your task question, but sir, like you said, the liquid will exert force at all points. Yes, it will act at all points. The total force, if you want to show it now at one point where it should apply, so it should be at a 2L by 3 for rectangular plate. Again, for different objects, it should be different. We have to find out. Again, that there is a totally different method is there. May not be needed for our syllabus. Just I brought only the total force. For rectangular plate, it will be like this. So we can derive this. For again semicircular plate, again the method is there. So the derivation is a little bit more complex. So in the revision program, we'll see when we have a sufficient time, we'll analyze that also. We'll learn some higher things, but can be asked in Olympiad. Olympiad, I think there's no rule that in syllabus, out of syllabus. Okay, those who are targeting Olympiad, please do put effort in such things also. The point of application of this total force will be at a depth 2L/3. Just now what we discussed, no? This is plate. This is a free surface, this everything is liquid. It will act on either side. Huh? It will act on either side. I'm just showing on one side. This is submerged, even it is the incline, no? So no problem. So this edge is at a depth, no? So you have to just calculate SCA. This is a very,
Sir,
yeah.
how did you say that it will act at a distance 2L/3, sir?
Solve it, no? Solve it. What is there? Why don't you put
Okay,
some
sir.
effort? Some effort. Because if I only think everything, then what is left over for you to think? That's why I just given information, but you can prove that. You can prove that. Try. If not getting, I'll help you. And now similarly, if you come for this surface, the point of application has to be determined again. Again, for the point of application, it will come slightly here. I am very sure. According to the integration, what I know, it will come slightly somewhere. The point of application. Let's not go for that point of application. So those who are interested, you can put effort further. So this is about the the theory of like force on a submerged planes. Sir, what about the if a body is acted upon by, if the 3D object is immersed? 3D object, again, slightly different approach. This for only laminars are able to see the topic, laminars. For 3D object, there's no other way. We have to assume a surface and you have to work out. Let's take one more question. And last one question we'll do on force only. Answer, okay, I'll help you with answer in the end. Read the question now. I think this I gave in assignment. Simple maths. The basics of integration is what, how you are going to apply is what I'm testing. So we do have a hollow right circular cone of base radius r and height 2r is placed on a horizontal table. From a small hole on top, water is slowly filled up. When water level is at top tip, the water starts leaking from the bottom. If the density of water is rho, what is the mass of the cone? It starts, means the cone or pen starts losing contact. Why do it lose contact? I think better, I think not seeing, not possible. It's a purely integration based problem. Okay, on pen paper, you take it, stop looking at the screen. Okay, draw the diagram. How the liquid will exert force at all points it comes in contact. It will exert force normally. That's the basic idea. The liquid will exert force normally on all surfaces which it comes in contact. I'll have a diagram. Small hole, or you can treat almost like a triangle. It doesn't matter. So there's a cone. So here inside liquid is there. Inside liquid is there. So you assume a circular strip. This will be the axis. Able to see this? How the liquid will exert a force. So let me assume some mathematical assumptions. I'll make it. Let this be theta. Let the radius of this, let it be R. Let this surface be dl. Theta, theta. And I'll go for this is theta. How the liquid will exert a force? Normally, so if I take a strip, I think so if I draw only or on this side, I'll show it here. The force will act here. At every point, it will be there. I'm showing it one particular point. Here also, what happened? You can show it. Is it only at one point? No, at all points on this circular strip, the force will be in this direction. Okay, this width, let it be dh. Where do you saw this diagram like this? I think you go back to center of mass. We had a diagrams of this kind, finding center of mass of hollow cone. So if you draw this triangle, dl is what? Small elemental length on the slant face, and dh is what? Vertical on the axis. This is the axis of cone. Sine theta dh by dl. Okay, let's prepare some. Then let it be h, I'll assume. So one more triangle we have. I'm just making all things very clear before entering into the mathematics. Tan theta. I'm where I'm looking at this triangle. Okay, got it? Tan theta. So this will be theta, no? Tan theta h by r. I have this much of ready. Tell me like a how do that force df like a how the horizontal component on the ring will cancel out, no? It will not have 2 points. Again, see, you must have that one. The liquid will be, the water will be in contact with all points on the cone. So everywhere it will be acting here. I think I'll try to give the diagram. Hope you'll understand. It'll be like this. Okay, side view. So at several points, it'll be like this. So if you resolve all that, horizontal components will cancel out. Only the vertical components will get added up. And this was the strip. Not at 2 points. Here I'm unable to show at all points, so I'm showing separately here. Okay, now come for this one. So what is the net vertical component? dfy should be equal to df into cos theta. What is df? The force exerted by the liquid, that should be equal to pressure into area of this. So what is the area? Area of this circular strip. What is dA should be equal to 2 pi r dl. So what is the pressure at a depth? Rho gh. Neglect P naught. If you want, you can take it P naught, this one. What is dA? 2 pi r dl cos theta. So bring all the things we brought it. So what is h? You can write it as r tan theta. H is equal to r tan theta. Two pi. This is r. dl is what? dl is dh by sine theta, and this is cos theta. H equal to r by tan theta. Yeah, okay. I'm correcting it. So therefore this will become 2 pi rho g. What all will get outside? Again, 2 pi rho g r square dh tan square theta. R by tan theta We can write it as h r square by tan theta. Two pi rho g r square dh is there. Oh, I think I messed up somewhere. Huh? Let me put it here. H equal to r tan theta. H equal to r tan theta. Sorry. This should be like this. Yeah. Tan theta get cancels. Here we'll get r square dh. So 2 pi rho g. What is r? R we can write it as h square tan square theta. Just check the calculations. That dh. So theta is something we assumed it, and it says constant. So h square dh. Let me integrate. So this should be 0 to 2r. So 2 pi rho g tan square. This will be h cube by 3. So what is the vertical component of force? Eight r cube by 3. 16 pi rho g r cube by 3 tan square theta. Now what shall I do with this? What is tan theta from bigger triangle? Tan theta will be 2. So tan square theta will be 4. So substituting this, 4 pi rho g r cube by 3. Okay, I got this. What to do with this value? What is this? This is a total force exerted by the liquid on the cone. Agree this? So shall we write here? No? Anything? Total vertical thrust or net vertical thrust, you write. Net thrust, or you can say like net vertical thrust exerted by liquid on cone. When do it will start just rising up? When this force is greater than mg or equal to weight of the cone. Four pi rho g r cube by 3 equal to mg. So what should be the mass of the cone? 4 pi rho r cube by 3. If the mass of the cone is greater than this, the water will not leak out from here. If the mass of the cone is less than this, it's definitely open. The liquid what happen as you start filling up. Once the liquid reaches the brink, or say this apex, or this on the top level, then open the liquid what happen will exert force everywhere, and that force what happen will lift it up. So actually, in fact, the forces, no, they'll be acting. Some of you, because again you may start thinking that this force is acting only at 2 points. I'll make a diagram one. How the liquid will exert force at all points. Only on one face I'll show it. What are these arrows? This will be the situation. On one face I'm showing it. Don't say at all 2 points. Everything radially you have to think like this. Please do imagination, because everything can't be put on the board. So if you just draw a line, if you take one line and if you draw that line on the slant face of a cone, there you can show the force exerted by the liquid bladder. So as you move down here, it'll be normally, the force will be exerted normally by the liquid. And here the pressure is more. So definitely open here, the force will be more here. And as you move up, the pressure decreases. Almost here 0 atmospheric pressure, or you can put like P0 to be 0, no? So it'll be like this. So There's a thing, Eros, if you want, you can go for pressure triangle. The idea of that. Can be asked questions like this in advance. Of course, a small integration is there. So that elemental strip, the way we assume, no, so that becomes very, very important. So this particular thing, this assuming of strip is what the idea, this one. And the DL, surface area of the strip. This part is very important. Please do make observation of some basic maths. You'll be in better position. So all these are some application problems are there. So maximum questions of this kind will be much useful for you. Yes, anybody doubt? Anybody having doubt, you can clarify. This will be our final answer. I just neglected atmosphere, not like due to small hole, even small hole or big hole, atmosphere should be there. For our calculation purpose, we'll make P naught equals 0 because any reason for that, like a reason for that is like when you write this pressure, no, this pressure will be what, like P naught plus rho GH. Calculations will become lengthier. Or even the atmosphere will also exert force, no, they'll be nullified. So let's make P naught equals 0. So we can minimize our calculations. Even the air will also exert a force. So therefore I'll just make P naught 0. So problem will become straightforward. No? Okay, agree this? I think in exam they'll mention, they'll mention when we go for exam, they'll mention. Okay, I'll stop the class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, almost all the basic ideas are completed. You have to work out different numericals, especially application oriented of these kind what I discussed now. Practice them, you'll get a basic picture. Then next week when we go for buoyancy, you can enjoy the effort what you put in. That'll be very easy because there when you go for the buoyancy, I do get involved in mathematics of this kind. The fluid will exert force on all surfaces which it comes in contact. This idea is very important for next week and coming weeks also. Listen, so you have to put effort. You have to work out several numericals of this kind. Okay, I'll wind up the class. Okay, thank you all of you. Take care. Bye. See you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.